go on this elimination diet, whatever. Maybe you'll do great for a couple days and you'll feel awesome about it, and then you feel so bad that you quit. But don't quit. Like, you messed up once. Like, don't even quit for the rest of the day. Like, you messed up, get back on, keep doing it.
Friday morning workout. Rejected. I know a lot of people go through this. This has just pissed me off though. Apple rejected it again. This time, so it didn't crash, and other complaints about permissions I fixed. So 2 out of 3 problems. The thing Apple's complaining about right now is that it doesn't do enough. It's too minimal, doesn't use any native features, which is weird. It's a camera. You can't make this out of a web app. You can't do the stuff that this does with native swipes and taps and where the timer is in a damn web app. What do they mean this isn't native enough? Today's Friday, November 30th. One thing I've been doing today is reviewing a book, Hitmakers. I read this book maybe like a year ago. It's an awesome book. Some of the interesting concepts in this book are things like, we are all this marriage of contradictions. We love new things, we hate new things. A lot of us love novelty, and yet we're afraid of change. Pop songs. Pop songs are a lot about repetition, but they're not all about repetition, or we would just get bored if you just heard the same note or the same phrase or whatever over and over and over again. So what is the magic? This guy did the study with mice in which he sounded a note. Let's call it the note B. He would do a B, and the mouse would move its head and look for, like, what is that sound? He would do it again. The mouse would do it again. Where's that sound coming from? You do this enough times and the mouse stops paying attention. The mouse becomes habituated. It's not interesting anymore. So what do? You play a different note. You play a C. And the mouse turns again. And then again, it could go on. You do C, C, C. But here's what's interesting about this is that when you do enough C's, the B now becomes novel again. When you do a B, the mouse is unhabituated, the smallest, kind of most optimal series of notes to kind of keep the mouse kind of engaged the longest so it doesn't stay habituated to any of these notes. B, B, C, B, C, D. Third note that comes in. And what's so interesting about this is if you compare the B, C's, and D's to a pop song, where B is verse, C is chorus, and D is the bridge of a lot of popular pop music, right? It's like verse, verse, chorus, bridge. I just watched a pop song on like trending on YouTube right now, and you can kind of see that happening. It's like verse, verse, chorus, bridge. It's repetitive, and yet there's some newness to it. There's just the optimal amount of newness to kind of keep you hooked. It's interesting to think about that as you apply it to creating content, writing, producing this, even talking about your business. You want to be different, but you don't want to be different all the time. You need to be familiar also. You want just the right amount of being different and being familiar and being different and being familiar. So that was just really interesting to think about. It's got my mind cranking on different ways of like kind of incorporating that into things that I do. Maybe I'll have some good examples of using that soon. Check out the book though, Hitmakers. For background and context, this shelf has been broken for like a month. You know, so it basically just sits out open like this cabinet door, which is awful. The dog sneaks in here and gets food. So you end up having to put stuff, we put the cabinet door here in front of it still, and it just looks so terrible.
I think you said a month. I think it's been more like 6 months.
6 months? Yeah. Maybe 6 months. The hinges broke. This thing basically just broke. And what's crazy is this cabinet is so old, they don't just make this hinge anymore. We can't find it. So we talked to like suppliers who make these cabinets, and they're just all like, we don't have anything for you. So we've had to buy new hardware that we're hopefully gonna just make work by kind of jamming it into the right places. I don't know how well this is gonna go. The new brackets that are supposed to go in here, they don't fit the old hole. So I had to fill the old holes up with wood putty. There we go. I don't know. Seems good. 432 toothpicks. The reason you see a bunch of toothpicks out is because now I have to fill in. We somehow lost our wood putty or threw it out or something. So now I'm making, according to some article on Stack Exchange, filling in a hole with wood and wood glue. This should be good to re-screw a thing into. And maybe even better than the old one. I don't really know, because I've never done this before. Of course, now I have to let this dry, and then I'm gonna have to break these toothpicks and sand them or something. Probably gonna have to use got like some kind of saw to like saw them off. Welcome to a new segment on the show called Woodworking Carpentry with Nate.